Hello students, today we will study the calculation of national income or its related aggregates by expenditure method. As we have done in the income method, this expenditure method has also got two steps. In the first step is the step of calculation of NNPFC by expenditure method. And the second step, use of conversion formula if required. That means if the question says calculate national income, that is NNPFC, the first step is enough. If other than NNPFC, if any other related aggregates is asked, then we will go for the step 2, where we will use the conversion formula. The same use of conversion formula remains constant in income method as well as in expenditure method. This is one of the way to tackle with the problem of expenditure method. There is another way also. That formula I will discuss later on. First, you understand how to calculate NNPFC by expenditure method. Step 1. We have seen while we were going by income method that NNPFC can be calculated as OS plus COE plus mixed income plus NFIA. So these are the components of NNPFC by income method. The components will be changed in case of expenditure method. What are the components that should be added and subtracted? Let me discuss it. First, you have to remember these things. All expenditure ended items. All expenditure ended items. It means all those words which end with expenditure. For example, private, final, consumption, expenditure, government, final, consumption, expenditure. In this way, all those words which end with expenditure will be added. Second one, capital formation ended words. Gross capital formation or gross fixed capital formation or net capital formation or net fixed capital formation. Capital formation. Any one of these. That means capital formation in your question, capital formation ended words in your question will come either in the form of gross capital formation or gross fixed capital formation or net capital formation or net fixed capital formation or whatever capital formation word you are having, you add it with the first information. All expenditure ended items will be added. Along with capital formation ended words will be added. And This capital formation ended word can be of these four types: gross capital formation or gross fixed capital formation, net capital formation or net fixed capital formation. Dear students, you may get an extra word, that is the domestic. Gross domestic capital formation, gross domestic fixed capital formation, net domestic capital formation, net domestic fixed capital formation. This domestic product, presence of domestic product, if domestic product is there or domestic product is absent, is hardly makes any difference. You have not to bother with the presence or absence of the domestic word. So all expenditure ended items plus capital formation ended items, words. Third one, net export, that is export minus import. Will be added. Net export, in the question either net export will be given to you or export and import separately will be given to you. In that case, you will subtract import from export to get net export, and it will be added to three items we are adding, and then we will add net factor income from abroad. This will also be added. This is NFIA. You have seen in case of the income method also, we have used the concept of NFIA. We have used it is one of the elements of income method, as well as it is one of the element of expenditure method in the way in which I am explaining the thing. So all all expenditure ended items plus capital formation ended words or items, one of the four, then net export, that is export minus import to be added, and fourth item is net factor income from abroad. It is, you must remember, as I told you, from minus to concept. Factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad. These are the four items that should be added. Now, the fifth item, here I am writing NIT, which it is calculated as indirect tax minus subsidies. It should be subtracted. NIT should be subtracted. You have to remember, this is not an add item. For calculation of NNBFC directly by this method, we will subtract NIT. Then 6. After doing this addition and this subtraction, we will see the nature of the capital formation. If the capital, remember, just listen to me very carefully. If the capital formation is in gross, then we will subtract depreciation. So if your second item is gross capital formation, depreciation to be subtracted. If your second item is gross fixed capital formation, gross word is there, depreciation will be subtracted. But if your second item is net capital formation, we have nothing to do with depreciation. And if the second information is net fixed capital formation, again we have nothing to do with depreciation. If net is there with capital formation, depreciation not to be subtracted. But if gross is there with the capital formation, we will subtract. We will subtract what? Depreciation we will subtract. Now the thing is, one thing more you have to take care of. Gross capital formation, what you will do? You will subtract depreciation. If it is gross fixed capital formation, if you are finding fixed word along with the capital formation, this capital formation is not in the fixed form. This capital formation is in the fixed form. this net capital formation is not in the fixed form, but net fixed capital formation is in its fixed form. So here change in stock, that is closing stock minus opening stock. Closing stock minus opening stock will be added. Now, so what is the gist? If gross capital formation you have taken in information number 2, you simply subtract depreciation due to the presence of the word gross. If in the second information you have taken gross fixed capital formation, then for gross you subtract depreciation, and to remove fixed you add change in stock. If it is net capital formation, in second information, you have neither to subtract depreciation nor to add change in stock, because it is net, no need to subtract depreciation, and fixed word is not there, so we will not add change in stock. But if it is net fixed capital formation, we will subtract depreciation, and we will not subtract depreciation because it is net. If it is net, we will not subtract depreciation, and since it is fixed, we will add change in stock. So this is the rule of information number 7. Closing stock minus opening stock we have to add, and that will give us the change in stock. It will, so these two informations, information number 6 and information number 7, are conditional. If rule 1, if capital formation is in gross, depreciation to be subtracted. Rule number 2, if capital formation is in fixed, so change in stock to be added. So in your question you can get any one form of these 4 capital formation. It can be gross capital formation. If the second information is gross capital formation, what you will do? You will subtract depreciation. If it is gross fixed capital formation, you will subtract depreciation and you will add change in stock at the same time. If it is net capital formation, you will neither subtract depreciation nor add change in stock. If it is net fixed capital formation, you will not subtract depreciation, but you will add change in stock as the 7th information, and change in stock is calculated as closing stock minus opening stock. Rule number 1, if capital formation is in gross, depreciation to be subtracted. Rule number 2, if capital formation is in fixed, change in stock to be added. After doing this much calculation from your relevant question, whatever you will get, that is known as NNPFC. And from this NNPFC, you will find out GDPMP if it is asked in the question, GNPFC or whatever related aggregates other than NNPFC. If it is asked in the question, we will go for the second step, and in second step we will use the conversion formula. Hope you have understood the calculation of national income by expenditure method. Now one more thing I would like to tell you. In most of your books you will find that in expenditure method they are not finding NNPFC. Rather, directly they are finding GDP-MP. And GDP-MP they are calculating like I am explaining the thing. Hope it is visible to you. Now, the second thing that you will find in your book, that will also do. You can use any of the two methods here. Let me raise it. Alternative calculation of, that is also calculation of NNPFC by expenditure method, but in the first step they are calculating step 1, calculation of GDP-MP by expenditure method. And step 2, use of conversion formula if required. Now see, here the formula is very easy to remember. GDP-MP is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Remember, it will be gross domestic product at market price. In this method, GDP-MP is calculated by C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Now, what are the meanings of these notations used in the formula? But remember, here we are directly finding GDP-MP, that is the step 1. This is the step 1. Here C stands for private final consumption expenditure. In your question, in numericals, you will clearly find this information. Private final consumption expenditure. I stands for investment expenditure. Investment means capital formation. So investment expenditure means capital formation, and it must be gross. In gross, then only we will get GDP-MP. G stands for government final consumption expenditure. As private individuals spend money to satisfy their personal need, individual need, similarly government is also spending money for consumption purpose, and they come under the head of government final consumption expenditure. And the last one is X minus M. X stands for import. X stands for export and M stands for import. X minus M. So if you add these 4 components, you will get GDP-MP. And once you get the GDP-MP, now suppose the question is you have to find out the national income, you will go for step 2 and use the conversion formula NNPFC is equal to GDP-MP from gross to net minus debt, domestic to national plus NFIA, and from MP to FC minus NIT. You apply the conversion formula to get NNPFC. So here in the second way for solving the expenditure method, I told that in first step we will calculate GDP-MP, and GDP-MP can be calculated as C plus I plus G plus X minus M. C, private final consumption expenditure. I, investment expenditure, that is capital formation. G, government final consumption expenditure. And X minus M, export minus import, that is net export. That will give us GDP-MP. And once you get the GDP-MP, you apply the conversion formula to get any other aggregates which is asked in your question. If the question says find GDP-MP by expenditure method, here ends the matter. In first step, the matter is ended. But if it is anything else, we will go for the conversion formula. Hope you have got what I mean to say. Just you start practicing expenditure method and feel free to ask questions in the comment box or personally on phone in order to just remove any doubts or confusions if it arises while solving the problems. Okay, goodbye.